First, the campaign trail weaves through the Gem State yet again. The big issues Bernie Sanders tackled during a campaign stop in Boise.
This is KBOI 2 News, first at 4.
What an enormous crowd here at Boise. Thank you so much.
Democratic presidential contender Bernie Sanders makes a campaign stop in Boise this afternoon. And a good afternoon to you. Thanks for watching KBOI 2 News. I'm Brent Hunsaker.
And I'm Natalie Hurst. Idaho Democrats are preparing to caucus tomorrow. As Scott Logan explains, Sanders tried to gather some last-minute support in the Taco Bell Arena ahead of the big day. He starts our team coverage on the campaign stop.
Many pundits say Bernie Sanders hasn't got a realistic chance of winning the Democratic nomination given Hillary Clinton's lead in delegates. But Sanders and the thousands of people who showed up to hear him speak, well, they believe otherwise. This is what a movement looks like.
We have got to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, $15 an hour.
And that's the best way to describe what Bernie Sanders brought to Boise. He only mentioned Hillary Clinton's name a few times and said the target of his campaign is income inequality.
And the truth today is a corrupt campaign finance system. The truth is a rigged economy where most of us work longer hours for lower wages. Almost all new income and wealth goes to the top 1%.
The bad guy, according to Bernie Sanders' speech, is former President George W. Bush, who Sanders said pushed the world's economy to the verge of collapse.
Many of our Republican friends suffer from a very serious mental health issue called amnesia. So we don't want to be hard on them, but they just have a hard time remembering where the economy was when President Bush left office.
And as he closed, Sanders borrowed a line from one great Republican, Abraham Lincoln.
This is a campaign of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Sanders says he doesn't like to insult people or call them names on the campaign trail, but then he went on to say that Donald Trump is, quote, a pathological liar. Live at Boise State University, Scott Logan, KBOI 2 News.
Well, this isn't the first candidate to make a stop in Boise. Several Republican contenders have also made their way to the state.
Jake Lieber spoke to people who attended this afternoon's rally. Jake, how do people feel about yet another candidate stopping by?
Well, Brent and Natalie, they all say it's great to see these national candidates come here to Idaho, and even though it is traditionally a very red state, supporters here at this rally say they think Sanders' speech today could turn the tide. Bernie Sanders is the third presidential candidate to visit the Treasure Valley, following Republicans Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio earlier this month. But supporters say he's the only man for the job.
We have an era where politicians are very similar to each other. They all have very similar characteristics to each other, and Bernie Sanders is the one that stands out of most.
Ralliers say the most important issues facing the state are health care.
A lot of us simply are not making enough to buy health insurance, and we don't qualify for Medicaid.
Education, LGBT rights, and the environment.
The most important thing to me is saving our planet, and that is a very key issue that he is striving for.
And most were glad that the Sanders visit once again put the Gem State on the national stage.
I think it's kind of impressive to see a Democratic candidate come to Idaho.
Idaho has voted for the Republican candidate in the general election every year since 1968. But Sanders supporters say it doesn't deter them.
I think the fact that he came here for this just shows his commitment to Idaho and, getting the revolution started.
There were lots of young supporters at this rally, plenty of high school students and college-age students. But I spoke to one older Sanders supporter that says she wishes more baby boomers supported Bernie. Live in Boise, Jake Lieber, KBOI 2 News.
And if you missed the rally, don't worry. We have a photo gallery up on KBOI2.com along with a story. Just click on the story and you'll see dozens of photos from Taco Bell Arena.